Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the MF Doomed vs. Willow Twisted Fantasy series. In the last game, Willow Twisted Fantasy brought a very team fight heavy composition, kept the pressure on, and MF Doomed really did not have much to say about it. They just did not have much of a response. Let's see if old Doomed can turn this one around this game. And by the way, same people as last time, so say hello to Randy and Ocelot.
Yeah, it's me.
First ban on Lion here. Just knocking out some supports here. Nothing too crazy. Hellscream was playing a lot of Lion in the first series, so not too shocking there.
10 seconds remaining.
Willow Twisted Fantasy having a little bit of a discussion on what their first bans are going to be, it seems.
Yep.
Radiant team back.
This is laying out a plan.
I'm expecting to see Mars or Snapfire. I'm surprised they haven't.
Old Wraith King going down, yeah. MF Doomed, it would not be any shock to see MF Doom bring down the hammer on, especially Mars. Ramonolo in the last round really showed them what he could do on Mars. Be almost foolhardy maybe to let him do it again. I mean, Willow are not afraid to sort of run the play back. Getting rid of the Snapfire instead.
Yep.
Trying to discourage them from going that route. Now,
Having
last time,
Snapfire on your team is like a nuclear deterrent.
right? Yeah, you could really tell the psychological effects Snapfire had, because even if the ult wasn't coming out in the last game, MF Doom was constantly trying to stay split from each other just to make sure they didn't get put in that arena with that artillery coming in.
Which is unfortunate because they preyed upon them, just used the arena for 1 or 2 picks, and would just proceed to kill the rest of them up because they couldn't help. Ooh,
Right.
Witch Doctor ban, interesting.
We even Silencer in the pool this time, which is a little brave. We got a first pick Spirit Breaker on Doomed.
Alright, that's interesting. Ban
But
Silencer.
Silencer was the reason they didn't ban Silencer is they were gambling on picking him up for themselves this time. Very interesting.
And once again, we have the interesting position of, what position will he be? You do not know.
Right.
If they do Silencer Mars, which I'm kind of expecting, to be honest,
5 seconds
it's
remaining.
actually pretty smart
Radiant
because
team pick.
Silencer
Radiant team
And
Yeah.
Mars.
Silencer
Yep.
is a natural. He's a natural counter to Mars, but he also syncs with him very well.
Right, if you're in the arena, that's bad, but if you're farmed enough, it doesn't matter, unless you're in the arena and you're silenced, in which case you are absolutely 100% totally screwed. And he also has that Q he can throw in.
Running back the Windrunner.
Yep. Hopefully they do Windrunner a bit higher of a position this time. I do not think the support Windrunner really came in handy for them at all in the last round. Once again,
Another
clearing out
TA
that
ban.
Monkey King. And once again, clearing out that TA. Willow Twisted Fantasy banning largely the same people this round, aside from the Witch Doctor.
Yep.
10 seconds remaining.
Now, I'm not so sure what they're going to be going for their third hero pick here coming up, but looks like we're going to be starting off with MF Dune. I'm thinking they're going to have to pick someone very bulky.
No, we're
I
starting
mentioned
off with
Clock-
Willow.
Oh, you're right, my bad.
I do agree that Doomed are going to need some, even if they're going to, they're probably running Spear Breaker too. That seems to be the trend right now. So you can assume SB2 perhaps.
Honestly,
Could
if
be
you're
as
going to
low
be
as
trapped,
4.
if you're going to be trapped in an arena that you can't escape from, with not a whole lot of ability to fight back outside of just clicking them a bit, you want to build and take heroes who are very good at that. I mean, if you want to be stuck in something with someone, it's not going to be Clockwork. So Clockwork's pretty decent against Mars because he can just sort of passively beat him up by hitting Q and then walking in. You know?
Right. Clockwork's a good counter pick to him. I think Skywrath Mage, if you manage to not get put in the arena yourself, is a very good guy who can just mess with them inside of it. Obviously not if he's silenced, mind you, but, you know.
Yeah, from the outside, Skyrath can do a lot of damage. On that note, actually, in a similar sense,
Omni-Knight as well. Not
yeah.
damage per se, but he can really screw with the...
he can
ability to do
completely
it.
make their team fight ability hard, but I don't know about like their third actual pick here over on Twisted Fantasy. I'm pretty, I don't know, I wouldn't say positive, but I would honestly expect them to build someone who's got good, just intermediate damage. Like, you can go in, you can click, you can get some good AoE out, and it's sort of an all-arounder here. I wouldn't say Jug per se, but
Somebody
against
like a
Windranger
Jug,
and
yeah.
You know, and one that's not too dissimilar to it in the capabilities they have is
Radiant
well,
team
Lifestealer for one, but he's banned.
He's gone, yeah.
Oh, Dark Willow.
Oh
Alright.
shit, it's 2 different games this series where somebody picks
The
their namesake
Prophecy.
hero.
Yeah, the
So
Prophecy.
Willow and Mars go together pretty well.
Oh
because,
no, they are completely synergistic. It's
it
quite
discourages-
disgusting.
super discourages any arena counterplay, and you can just ult the arena and people will just be running into the walls.
5 seconds
Yeah, ult the
remaining.
arena with both of your ults, and not
You
only
know
are they going to be
what?
running into your walls, you also got the damage coming in.
You know
Fight
what?
on
It's that's a good
That's-
pick against
that's
Mars.
That's the classic arena counterplay.
Dire
Now,
team
I was gonna say they don't have him. Oh, that's a lot of
More
support. And
counterplay.
we got a problem here. Unless Windranger's gonna be their pause one, they don't have a really good carry here.
Well, yeah, Windrunner better not be the pause 5 again, that's all I'm going to say. They desperately need a little late game here.
And I was gonna mention it, but in place of I do like the Warlock pick, but in place of Tide maybe, or even Warlock, I think one of the two. I really think they should have picked something like, for example, Elder Titan, because
Yeah,
that
Titan.
Q and his ult can really screw over Mars in particular, maybe even
Right.
Silencer if he catches him in the Q.
Right, yeah, I do
Echo
think
Stop is strong.
the biggest issue here is that Titan is going to be absolutely of no value to them if that global silence goes off, because they don't even need to fight him if the global silence is off, you know. If that global silence is going down, they can just completely ignore the guy, clean up his team, and be absolutely a-okay with it. Yeah, I cannot say in good faith that this was probably the play for MF Doomed. I do think they have some draft issues here again. Now, it'll be interesting to see if maybe they do what the Roche Riders did earlier in this series, and rather than trying to directly counter the arena itself, maybe this game they're going to go for more of an approach where they try to stop the enemy from being able to effectively use it to begin
Proactive
with.
picks rather than reactive picks.
Right.
Yeah. Tide is
but
very
that-
much a reactive pick.
Right. It will be interesting to see if maybe Tidehunter's going to try and go aggressive here. You know, if he's going to try and engage on, like, Mars and Silencer before they're able to get their stuff up. If he's going to go balls to the wall like that.
6, 5, 4.
Holy crap, guys.
Radiant team
Okay, there we go.
Rawr.
Not a bad pick. That's going to kill Tidehunter pretty easily.
Not only is that
Maybe
going to kill
too.
Tide pretty easily, that's also going to be great insurance for late game for Willow Twisted Fantasy.
I don't think it's going to be great for Windranger, though. It's definitely going to suffer trying to hit her for a little while, but I don't think it's going to matter once he gets an inevitable MKB.
Right. It's going to... Right now, Earth is the death clock. You know, he's the doomsday clock here. The second Ursa comes online, right now, MF Doomed really does not have an answer to that. So if the game goes long enough that he gets farmed, that they do not pick somebody with pretty good late game for this last, it's just kind of over for them.
So both teams need mids. Not sure what
Gonka and
Willow
Bloodseeker
Twisted
going down at one
Fantasy will
time.
play. When I assume MF Doomed are looking for an arena counterplaying team fighting mid. Quap, Lena, a Spirit.
Void Spirit here especially would be particularly good.
10 seconds.
Void
remaining.
Spirit would be really good with that Ags. He'd also have the ability to
5 seconds
discount
remaining.
Silencer just a bit.
Radiant
Willow
team
Twisted Fantasy were thinking the same thing as I was, it seems.
Yep.
Alright, well, what does that leave? We got the... I do think in lieu of Void Spirit, another Spirit would not be bad. Ember in particular would help bridge that late game gap. They still would not have the most ideal late game, but they would have more than they have right now at least.
5 seconds remaining.
It helped them
You know,
stay
I
on
really
pace
think
against
that
it.
Naga might be the pick here for MF Doomed.
Naga?
That's what I'm thinking. It's got a good setup for
Yeah,
Tide
wouldn't
and
be a bad
Warlock.
idea.
Spirit Breaker gets time to escape or go in if he's trying to make something happen. Buys time for Windranger to wait on her skills to make a more opportunable play. And it completely shits on all of Mars' capabilities with his ult. Dark Willows to a certain degree, and even Silencer can get weighted out with it.
Yeah, I don't think she'd be able to mid very effectively, but you could just pitch Windranger mid.
Yeah,
It certainly
that's
would
true.
not be like a bad idea to run what we've got so far, you know, 3, 2, 4, 5 from F Doomed. which was probably not how they drafted these heroes, really, but you
Right.
know, I don't think there'd be anything wrong with flipping the script at this point. I think it would do them some good, really, if anything. One thing I will say is, if Matty Boy is going to try and run back on that Tidehunter, we did not see great results on that in the first game, so it would be a little better to put Tidehunter on 4, perhaps.
They have a little bit of time left over to pick their big 5 here, but I'm really wondering.
I think
Is it going to be Naga? Is it going to be? I really don't think they can afford something like Medusa, though. I think they need something that's a bit faster and farm, because they do not want to push late game against Ursa and Mars. It's especially Silencer
right.
too.
At this point, they do need some like.
Oh, you know
late,
what?
But who we got?
I think PL may not actually be a bad idea.
He's banned.
Dire team
Is he? Oh, you're right.
It's Lina.
Yeah,
and
towards the last. I saw the corner of my eye. I thought that was for some reason I thought that was just
So
Ember Spirit.
if Lena's mid, Windrunner has to be the 1, right?
Could
There's
be
no other
SB
option.
pause 1.
No, I don't think so.
People are doing that now.
Yeah, Spirit on pause 1's actually really strong, but I don't think they can afford it. I really don't think that Spirit Breaker is going to be able to stand up to Ursa is the problem. Your pause
Yeah.
1 has to go toe to toe with Ursa. Oh no, dude, that's
Yeah.
rough.
MF Doomed really has. That's 2. Very interesting.
I don't mean to sound negative, but their namesake
It's-
might be very fitting.
It's auto on Windrunner.
Yeah, but Victor Vanu was there one last game, so.
They got Fat Tidehunter again.
So Windrunner's
Yep.
your 1.
Matty Boy is running back the Tidehunter.
Yeah, we'll see, you know?
It's be interesting to see if he can top his performance from the last game. Very long wait period here for some reason.
Yeah, gotta strategize.
Everybody's got to think about what we're doing. I will say this much, as I was sort of getting at, MF Doomed, even with that one Windrunner, they really have like 30 to do this. If they do not have like a super significant advantage, either total map control at 30 or winning the game at 30, it's going to be very hard for them to keep this going.
I'd like to mention that I think, just squarely based again on the strength of their picks, that Willow can do a lot with a little, DK needs a lot of farm, Ursa can do a lot with a little, Silencer especially can do a lot with a little, and Mars also needs a lot of farm, so they've got a good spread over on Dire side. Radiant team, though, I don't know what they have late game, really.
Yeah, they got
Windrunner.
Windrunner, and that is
Windrunner,
pretty much
I don't
it.
know.
Actually, Lina.
I don't know. Windrunner's...
Lina can't scale very well into the late game.
She can, but she definitely is going to need that Ags and possibly her Shard too. But Windranger, I don't know what she's really going to bring to the table, because if they get farmed to get... Because all those heroes on Dire are going to want a BKB in some fashion towards the end.
Right.
And they're probably going to see it too. This has to be a win before 30 minutes game, and I don't know if that's going to work out.
Hey, you never know. Alexa Jack's
that's
just
not good.
taking half a health bar for free here. Ramonolo coming in saying stay away.
Yep.
Getting circled by Lina for his troubles.
Lina draws a pair of eyes on the map.
Or maybe that could be Willow pointing out where Ramonolo is standing at the moment. Iceman looking for a high five from
Come
Matty
on, Matty.
Boy.
No!
Matty just establishes his banner and refuses to elaborate. Sold High School has to.
He
to be the one
claims
to do
this
it.
land in the name of France.
Really should claim it for somebody else.
Grab that bounty. Just try to.
Yeah, Matt Villain ends up successfully taking the
Oh, is
bounty.
he going to
but,
pay for this?
I believe he might.
Oh, man!
Last hit.
Oh!
8
9
HP.
Yep.
Oh my god!
But Ursa's
Oh, he's
a
gonna
little
live, he's
faster
gonna
than him.
live. He's gonna live.
No, they do not want to die the tower for
Thanks
this.
to the Warlock and his Shadow Word. Ooh,
Oh,
that
boy.
was close.
I'm
That
not
was real
really
close.
sure why we didn't see a second Bramble Maze there. And yep, he had they had 2 Saz up here, so he is just
It's an
fine.
all or nothing if they put another Bramble down. You know, it's either. I feel like it wouldn't have done anything with the Warlock heal either. I feel like it doesn't counteract it enough.
Yeah, another right click would have been enough.
Yeah, the thing is, if they got it out in time, I think it would have actually done enough damage to just kill Tide before the Warlock heal even landed.
You know, realistically speaking here, Silencer versus Spirit Breaker in this lane, I don't see what Spirit Breaker's gonna hope to do. He's gonna have to deal with consistent range damage, lots of, I don't know what he's gonna be going for. It's either gonna be maxing into Last Word or into Curse of the Silent, but either way, it's rough for Spirit Breaker.
Yeah, it's not gonna be great for him, especially on pause 5, which is not where I expected the guy to be honest with you.
No, I don't think that's the play to make. If they're going like pause 2 Tide or something, they really got to make that work.
No, it's
that's
pause 2
possible.
Lena.
Yeah.
I still am not sold on that. Lena's pretty strong, but up against heroes that can just sort of turn around and kill her in 3 skills or swipes of their hand, it's just, I don't know, dude. Mars can pretty easily solo her. Ursa can just W and kill her. Silencer is Silencer, you know? DK just does not care. Willow, maybe. It's toss-up.
Yeah, I
I
would
gotta be
imagine,
frank here. These picks are not tiered in their favor.
Right. Now, there is a place where, you know,
Ooh, Lucky Bash.
yeah, good spear there on One Runner. There's a place where you do have to acknowledge, there could be an opportunity for turnaround, and that is the, oh, we missed first blood here. Tidehunter actually ultimately going down. You know,
Yeah,
execution and reality are 2 very different things. Well, execution and theory, rather, are 2 very different things. Execution and reality are, in fact, the same thing, basically, in these terms. Speedbreaker going in, trying to bully Mars a little bit here, but really ends up taking more for it than, oh, that's a little bad. That's fine, though. Taking a little more for it than,
Willow Ursa is pretty deadly, because if you get brambled, you're just gonna die.
right. But, man, now I lost my train of thought. Thanks, Randy. Getting buried on stream here.
It happens.
We're fine, Randy. We're replacing him with, Pohoro.
Oh, hello. Warlock's in
This
trouble.
is,
I think
yeah,
he's
this is
dead.
very bad for Warlock.
As I said, deadly lane combination.
Goes down to a split kill, but still. Jeez, this is not something you want to have happen,
Willow,
too.
a hero that can both force you to run away in a direction you don't want to and punish you for doing so, with a hero that you have to run away from.
Yeah. It's really not an ideal scenario for the Radiant, because Ursa, you know, he's your death timer. He's the guy that you're not going to be able to stop, and look at how he's doing.
Yeah, this reminds me of our Abaddon Venomancer lane combo. Really nasty
Yo,
stuff.
don't give away our secrets on stream like that.
Ah, come on, it's a learning league. They gotta find out this stuff eventually.
yeah.
Consider it my
Spirit
investment to the Dota 2 learning community.
Charging his way back to lane. It's difficult to see what exactly he's going to be doing here. Though Ramonolo is rather low. I do think he's a little skeptical of what's going on here. Silencer out here looking out.
He's gonna spot it out.
Nope, Silencer turning around.
Maybe not. I just see it.
Spearbreaker has returned.
Ultimately. Oh,
I like the
Tide's
last
in
second
trouble.
anchor smash attempt there.
Oh, it's
such
still
an
caught in the
effective
root.
killing lane.
And again, as I was saying, right, this is what I was saying when I got interrupted. Ursa is a death clock here. And he's getting really farmed really fast just from these kills he's getting. He's not doing great for last, so I don't think he necessarily needs to be when his lane is 3-0. I'm pretty sure it's all his lane. Yeah, it is. It's 3-0.
Personally, I feel like Wind Ranger might actually be a better idea to go up to the off lane and send Warlock down to safe and try and get Spearbreaker into an actual position that isn't 5.
Right. Yeah, I do agree. I do think that's a mistake. They're already They're already losing out on a lot of late game here, and I don't know if
I mean, like, what's Ursa gonna do to Wind Ranger? He tries to go
Right.
RAR, hits W, and Wind Ranger hits E and goes, and she's gone.
yeah, Tidehunter and Tidehunter trying to take a carry role here, where with Spearbrigger in the support line, probably isn't the ideal. But again, it remains to be seen how it's going to be turning out. Spearbrigger just casually charging Mars again. Ha!
Ooh, that's rough.
I guess that that's another that illustrates another bit of an issue that Spearbrigger is going to have. That Mars can just, if Mars sees it coming, like a decent enough distance away, Mars can just throw the spear and just completely null the charge. It's a pull there, or a stack there rather. Windrunner is doing a lot of damage to these power shots. Oh, there goes Tide again. Windrunner looking a little low. She does have that Saz, so she's probably going to be okay after she Saz right back up. One very interesting thing to note here is that Iceman has actually managed to not just keep parity with, but actually surpass Lena for last hits here at mid.
That's the power Dragon Knight has. His raw tankiness and regen lets him just sort of eat whatever damage he's trying to spam out. Like, let me put it this way.
Oh, Ramonolo
He doesn't need to
actually
do
going
damage.
down.
He just needs to... Oof. Yeah. Let me put it this way. DK does not need to do damage. He just needs to survive mid and just keep getting last hits, even if the damage he takes his health bar, it'll come back. But
Right.
Lena's mana pool, that is not infinite. Not to mention, his Dragonfire is able to interrupt her attack stat a little bit, reduce it, make it harder for her to get right clicks outside of using her spells, so she's forced to use her spells to secure last hits. It's really
Right, yeah,
uncomfortable for her.
you could see an example of what you were talking about happening there. Dark Willow might be in a little trouble here. She's getting charged down.
She's slow. The charge level 1.
Yeah.
2 maybe.
She does have boots level 1, and she is pretty nimble, but is it going to be enough to...
She does
deter it? No.
completely isn't seeing it either. She is not expecting it the slightest.
Yeah.
And this is death, I think. Unless we get a TP.
Oh, the brambles. Just completely
Yeah, they
shutting
just
that down.
they did not
Shadow
want to pass
Ward might
away.
actually do her in. She needs to pop her wand.
Nope.
Oof, yeah, pop the one
Oh.
last tick.
She wouldn't have died the last tick, wouldn't have killed her.
Radiant's middle tower.
Ursa's mad!
Barely.
I would be too.
He's not gonna do. Okay, there we go.
I would just like to point out that Willow literally survived that encounter because she had a extra branch.
Yep. She had to go home. Definitely will probably be putting wards down there. I feel like, funnily enough, if there was better vision there, Willow probably could have just turned that around. Oh, Courier! Tidehunter's Courier!
Radiant's courier
Yeah.
has been killed.
Alright, there goes his boots.
Cutting those creeps.
Yep. Chris out in the jungle here. May not necessarily be the play. I feel like he still has more to do here. Like, look at how overextended Tidehunter is, but Earth had to walk a mile to get here.
Urza's got phase boots. He's not getting away from this.
Yeah. Brambles will come out after the stun. Sure. Yeah.
But
Wow.
luckily, it didn't matter.
His top tower is
We're like
under
really left him to dry there. Where the hell did he go? He TP bot? Why?
Taking a look.
Alright. Lena has actually turned it around on Dragon Knight, though notably she's been having to pile on the clarities to do it. Which means it's hard to say that was totally worth it. He's got these raindrops here.
Yeah. Let's mitigate some of that Q spam.
I found an arcane ring. Ho 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 ho!
Oh, they're looking at Tide again.
Yep. Roar! I want a watermelon.
He's gonna get a watermelon.
Oh, that was really unfortunately
Oh,
timed.
he got greedy. He got real greedy. You have to let the stuns go off first. That's why Kraken Shell's really good.
Warlock
even
going
1 point.
down there, but it's not really worth it if Windrunner gets a kill on Ramonolo.
Yep.
Yeah.
Windrunner doing really good at bot, almost completely independently. Just winning this is like a 1v2. Not super winning it, don't get me wrong, but doing well enough. Coming in for Dragon Knight here. Tries to shackle, but not quite.
What? Was that a misclick?
No, it was.
She just wanted to
he
get
was
the
trying
creep with him.
Trying to shackle the creep to him, yeah.
That was a bit hopeful.
And now she's just running back to bot.
Yeah. The old college try.
Once again, I think this team comp is playing really strongly into their fucking hands right now. I'm struggling to find ways to look for a bright solution to push Radiant to victory here.
Yeah, it's going to be a difficult journey for them, though they do have some upsides. I would say that ultimately this lane has probably gone better for them. They have spilled more times, but it doesn't really matter that they've lost more. I mean, Spearbreak is going to be pretty much out of the game. I mean, look at that mana pool. That is nothing, baby. But
Windrunner hasn't died.
Windrunner hasn't died and has been getting pretty safe farm here.
Picked up a couple kills as well.
Her farm isn't what I'd call overwhelmingly impressive, but it's not too far behind Ursa at least.
And she's not really far behind the mids for XP. She's doing better than
Oh
Ursa.
no!
Well, that global silence is probably a little unnecessary, but certainly didn't hurt to have it.
Just to completely
They wanted to
stop
make
Windrunner from
sure.
being able to-
No, they wanted to make sure he didn't just crack and shell and ult.
Yeah. It's also true. Ravage with a couple well-timed TPs could have been dangerous.
DK can just tank the tower real hard.
Ultimately, nobody actually wanted to TP here. Yeah, they have two really tanky heroes here between Mars and Dragon Knight. It's actually one of the bigger sort of understated advantages that the Dire have, because you've got, you know, Mars, very tanky guy. You've got Dragon Knight, very tanky guy. You've got Ursa, who's not the tankiest guy in the world, but he's definitely got well enough for himself. They're going to be pretty hard to kill in the mid-game, even with the Laguna, because Laguna hits one. Shout out to the train.
Well, not if you buy Shard.
That's true.
Behold!
Behold what?
Behold. He's found Arcane Rune.
Yeah. Hasn't done anything yet with it. Behold. Looks like they want to swing here mid next. Just Dark Willow Swift Advance. He's just working on objectives here. Spearbreaker charging down bot.
Radiant's bottom tower is
Clear out
under
that lane,
attack.
get himself a bit of solo XP.
Would not be unwarranted. So Dire's really actually having to think hard about whether or not they're going to do something here, it looks like. Looks like ultimately the answer is actually no, they don't really. They wanted to take this tower, but they don't actually want to fight for it right now. Not without that global silence or the Elder Dragon form. Though that global silence is coming up pretty fast. That was a strange noise. One thing I will say, I definitely would not say it would be super advisable for them to fight without this thing up.
Yep.
Or I was just having to run back to mid here now. Dragon Knight just caught it a little bit of trouble here, but he's just regenerating everything they have really quickly. He's gone all in on Dragon Blood, which is certainly not a bad idea by any stretch.
Yep.
Silencer got himself his Tranks.
Invisibility.
You know, might try something here with this Invis, or might immediately jungle with it. Big Von, the only person who really wants to fight here on either team, it feels like.
Yep.
Got a smoke coming out with the Radiant here. MF Doomed looking for trouble here. I think they're probably trying to go on Ursa, but nope.
Right.
Radiant are
He's
scanning.
skipping town. He's on the first train out of here. Very idealistically sticking around just to see if he comes back, but not so much. But, oh, Now Radiant's turn to go into the jungle. They're just going to run into the enemy smoke here. They found the former offlane. Spearbreaker rolls in to try and do something, but Warlock is silenced. Tied under silence. He's dead instantly.
Tried to ulti.
Only one who walks away from that in that for a Radiant is Spearbreaker, who just skips town immediately. Lina ratting up here top.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
Trying to buy as much time as possible to go for that T2 here.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Everybody TPing here on this one. Warlock immediately stunned. Gets his ult off, but he's already quite low.
Ravage.
Ravage hits too, Ursa and Dragon Knight, but they're just walking away, and same goes for everybody else, it seems. So this, these Fatal Bombs are doing a lot of damage to him.
Yeah.
Oh, good
they
power
got him.
shot takes Ursa out. Great news for Vic Vaughn. Ramonolo going down next. There goes Alexa Jax. Dire just losing people by the second.
Yep.
So, Tied under trips on a Lego.
Regeneration.
Very good fight for Radiant there. Just took a 1.3k for free. Got a lot of money off of that.
Yeah. And Lina too, which doesn't hurt. Because they're their two big players this game.
Very unfortunately, the Golem also stepped on a Lego there, and Willow gets under for free.
Oh boy, they're gonna actually go for this? Lina, you're on your own, dude.
She's fine. She has so much movement speed between the travels and the Yules that she can just right-click away from anything at this juncture.
Yeah, I will say that the one thing outside of Mars and Willow they have to prevent running away is if they're not actively there and casting spells to stop it, they don't have any passive slow, they don't have anything like a Pudge Hook, for example, that can really keep them from escaping.
Yeah,
outside of Mars and Willow, that's basically it for their anti-escape.
Yeah, that's one thing the Radiant definitely have. If Willow's not around, they really do have the ability to just right-click out of pretty much any scenario. They have so much move speed and nothing really to stop it. I can definitely tell you this much: it would not be a bad game for somebody to pick up a Gleipnir on the Dire.
Atos to a lesser degree as well, I find would not be a bad idea. And the best person I think that could really afford to carry that is either Silencer or Willow. Maybe even get one on each.
I definitely
Willow
say
can literally just permanently lock someone down.
I definitely say I'd like to see it on Silencer more than Willow, because Willow already has some of her own.
Oh, Fuel Spurge.
Yep.
Lina wants to try and fight this out. She's actually just going to annihilate Willow.
Lord.
But then get annihilated for herself.
I don't think that was the play to make. Willow went in a little bit too greedy.
Yeah. Ultimately, at the very least, Silencer got cement for it.
Lina was more important than dying herself.
It was good that the kill was secure, though. I do think there was room to do that without Willow herself going down for it. Just trying to close and fight Lina herself was probably not the idea there, rather than just kite with skills. Oh, looking for another smoke here. And Lina, or Willow, just scribbling all over the map. Again, another original.
Speaking of anti-escape, Fey Grenade.
Yep. Very interesting.
Well, more just vision over the target, but it still helps. Keeps them from ducking into fog. Really good item for certain heroes that suffer from getting juked in fog like Bane.
Right.
Speaking of, I think Bane would have actually been a better pick over Silencer to a certain extent.
I do feel like Silencer does have a lot to do in this game, though.
He definitely does, absolutely. But I'm just speaking. I'm speaking specifically from the ability to just sort of absolutely shut down one of the more dangerous units, because a Nightmare on Lina or a Fiend's Grip on Spirit Breaker, even Tide. Tide can't purge Fiend's Grip.
Right.
And I feel like if anyone's going to be the big threat endgame, it's going to be a Tide that's built with significant damage and going into Anchor Smash build, as much as I hate to admit it, could be the edge they need to push into the far end of this match and actually come out on top.
So far has not really been building damage. He's actually charging.
You don't want to
for
start
Lotus.
for damage. You don't want to start for damage in that build. You want to build all your supplementary supplementary and core items that you're going to need for the build up at that point, and then you're going to want to go for your big right-click stuff.
Radiant completely pulling out of the jungle up here just to avoid this fight. Dire says, okay, well, let's get the objective then. They're smoking in, they're coming back.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Certainly are. They have
Spearbreaker
Warlock
charging in on the
entitled.
side.
Invisibility.
Spearbreaker still with his level 1 charge, actually, so he's going
Everything's
kind
up.
of slow.
5 ultis are up right now.
Spearbreaker just got in the middle of hell. Oh, he's...
Yep.
Right.
Oh,
Global
got
Silence
the
comes
ult
out.
but
Ravage,
only caught Silencer.
Ravage goes
got
down.
down.
Yeah.
Oh, Willow.
Mars is gonna
Big arena
die!
here.
Oh, he survives
Yeah, the
things.
walk.
No, the fatal bonds! The fatal bonds!
Okay, dead.
Ursa just gets annihilated
Oh,
by
look,
Lena at the
dude.
back of the line there. That Windrunner stun is really screwing up Ursa so far. Iceman and NHS just retreating to the jungle here. Iceman barely gets out with his life. Oh,
Boy, 4 for 0.
that was essentially without the Ravage too, because the Ravage did not
Okay.
accomplish anything.
Yep.
Lena basically just cleaned up the entire team by herself there. Had
Deadly
the
mid-game hero.
had the shackle there as well, but beyond that, you know, Windrunner does not really have terribly much damage at this point, so it's pretty much just Lena in that fight.
Actually gonna...
Gonna have a round 2 here at the actual tower itself. Matty Boy in
Tide
a
is
bit of trouble.
mitigating. Tide and
But,
DK
oh,
mitigating each
no,
other's damage with their
Windrunner.
Q. Oh. They actually got him. Oh, and
Yep.
Ursa's next! What is this turnaround?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's deadly.
Tower is under attack.
Is this all gonna boil down to just gross negligence?
Spearbreaker
They're,
just stunned out
they're
here.
fighting without their combos. What are they doing? They did not have any order of operation here. There was no start with the Mars drop. There was no silencer ult. DK
Well,
did
they
not
didn't have
his
the
ult up.
silencer ult.
You know,
Yeah.
that's what I mean, though. They didn't have any of that for their order of operations for their procession. If anything has to
Yeah.
happen first, it's either silencer ult or Mars ult, and then follow up with everything else.
Is under attack.
They did not adhere to that core edict. They could
Yeah.
not hope to have won that fight without at least silencer or Mars having their ult out and active.
Mars' ult was up there, I believe, just did not get a chance to use it.
That's what I mean. If it's
Yeah.
not out and active, it's
It's
not
tough.
worth going in. And here's the sad part. Mars, for as much as he's got with the Blink Dagger ult combo with everyone else on his team, his actual farm is atrocious.
Yeah, he's not doing great for money. He definitely needs to, and he is doing it now at the very least. He definitely needs to spend some time, get something done down here. They definitely, one thing that they could definitely be using at this point is a pipe for certain. You know, Lena is just smashing them up in these fights, and a lot of it is through just being able to knock everybody around with the skills. That's one thing that Lena definitely has here. That you know, her even outside of her ult, you know, she's just doing a load of damage at this fight with her Q and her W. They're really struggling to deal with that. Her right click's doing pretty decent damage as well. Tyner getting a little cut out here, but Radiant not so willing to try and go in on him again. Spearbreaker
they're
going
afraid
in
of
on
Lena.
Silencer.
Lena's got decent items for damage now, but
But,
there's the ult.
She's a little cut out here. Got a Lotus Orb on her head. Ravage
Tide
comes out,
manages to get the ult out. You can't keep
and
hitting
here
Tide
comes the
during these
Warlock
ults.
ult. Yeah, I think Tide actually did something smart there. I don't think anybody was hitting them. I think he just walked into the walls of the arena enough times to get the purge out on himself.
Windrunner just annihilated Ursa on the back line too.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
You can definitely
Turnaround.
tell. You can definitely tell here. MF Doomed has the realization, had that realization in pick phase of we got 30 minutes to do this. It's 24 minutes, and right now they're doing everything they possibly can to try and win as fast as possible here.
Yep.
But
They needed a miracle, and I think they may have just found it.
right.
Once again, they're picking out heroes who are in the order of operations to drop their skills to lead up to a team wipe.
Has fallen.
Silencer and Mars got their ults up. You know who didn't? Willow.
Right.
Without those
And,
specific combos, they can't hope to win.
As well, Tide bonking himself on the walls of the arena to activate his passive and to be able to ravage there was a pretty good play.
Very high IQ. Very,
Yeah.
very high IQ.
I think there are a lot of moving pieces in the Dyer's lineup, and if one of them gets removed, it just kind of collapses the whole game.
Right. So far, it's not necessarily coming together for them. Though Ursa is charging right for a BKB, and if he gets it, that can actually change quite a lot in the equation here.
Yep, and they're smoking in. They scanned that
Yep.
out, so.
They know there's
They
somebody in the
must have
triangle,
was
but they
there.
don't care that somebody's in the triangle. They want Lena more than anything.
Yep, which is fair.
And Lena goes right down.
Yep.
That's very unfortunate, to
Already
be
has
honest.
X.
Don't know what she was doing so overextended alone, but
Just trying to rat. Thought she could right click out,
Yeah.
but
This
they
is
were
not gonna
willing
be
to drop
uncontested
quite
here.
a lot.
oh no.
Oh, I got a big arena here. Windrunner and Tidehunter into the arena. Global silence going down. Doesn't matter though, because Windrunner's got that
Oh,
BKB just
BKB.
evaporates Willow.
I'm gonna be blunt. I think Mars needs to stop getting Tide caught in his hole.
Ravage there just for Ursa.
Ursa's tank enough now to actually take a lot of this beating with his ult, but is it enough?
Not
No!
quite, no.
DK's still here, but Windranger's got her ult going. This is a DPS race.
Dragon Knight just TBs out. He
Right
wants
up.
nothing more to do with this.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
What was once a Dire Roche may turn into a Radiant Roche pretty soon.
Yep. Prevented Windrunner from getting the kill there. That was good, but unfortunately, dying was still not great for them there.
Let's see how well they can contest this.
I will say this much. I do think I think one of the big key issues here, Iceman, who has been doing very good individually, I do think maybe has gone in a little too far on self-sustaining items. I feel like some auras on the Dire could do them a lot of good. And I know you don't necessarily want to do that as the two, but, you know, if you're going to go halberd anyway, you might as well, right?
Yeah, no. AC could be good. I think, honestly, it's a bit of a weird item to get just on Willow for the sake of using it, but a drum would not be bad.
Crimson Guard would be particularly good here because they've got quite a few just, you know, rapid fire attacks here that Crimson Guard does pretty well against.
Willow, you're making a mistake if you think you can take this Lena at this point in the game.
Both Crimson and Pipe would be a very good combo to have. Shiva's Guard as well. He's got that Ag Shard here.
Yep, very good.
But looking at Luth, you definitely know he's here. Windrunner found him, and he's
boy.
just melting in a second flat.
Oh no, this is not good.
He's not even gonna get to ult. He was killed through the shackle stun.
Right. Ursa really just got completely got
No
there.
space to farm.
Now, remember
Yeah.
how I mentioned that there's definitely a measure of pick potential on their team they need to be very cautious of for Dire?
Right?
This is it. Wind Ranger and Spirit Breaker can still solo somebody if they're given the right chance for it. Speaking of,
Oh boy.
Trying to punish as much as possible them for going in on him, but Silencer ultimately just not able to do enough here, and
they
Willow
are
falling
making
into the
a
grave.
horrible series of mistakes here. They cannot afford to be getting caught out like this.
Right? Yeah. I think Willow Twisted Fantasy made a mistake here. I think they really underestimated MF Doomed. I think they had the advantage here, and they had the tools in their pocket, but I think they let MF Doomed just kind of do what they needed to do very precisely to win. There was a very narrow angle of attack for MF Doomed here. You know, there's a very specific strategy they had to do, and they were able to pull it off. And that is in part to their own identification of what they needed to do and their own ability to do it. But I think also perhaps in part, you know, a bit of underestimation going on by Willow Twisted Fantasy here. Arena coming out.
Oh, missed the
Titan
spear!
Miss a spear, but Windrunner is just not going to be
And
able to do
again,
it.
oh.
Good ride.
Ursa tearing people up in the back line has already killed Lena. But now he's just going to die.
Fired. Yeah. He's focus fired.
DK hit his BKB, he's got himself several seconds of time to do damage, but is it gonna be enough? Ursa's buyback's
Warlock.
effective, they kill Warlock, then Winter just
Windrunner.
Aegis pops. Tide's on the run, but he's got nowhere to go, he's out of mana.
Breaker is ruining the backlines back there.
Speaking of, yeah, he's currently running from Willow, but wow, that was a bit of a turnaround.
Sure was. Ursa buyback was not ideal, but
They didn't kill
The
Windrunner.
golem.
yeah. They did fail to get the one person they really needed to get, but other than that, that was very good for them.
Dire's top barracks are under attack.
Windrunner's actually, satanic.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah, no surprise there.
I'm gonna be honest with you, looking at what we've seen out of that fight, I've identified the issue. It is indeed that Mars keeps chronically catching Tide in his ult. He can't keep doing that, because every time he does, he gets damaged out of the silence, or the stun, and proceeds to ult anyway and catches his whole team. He needs to blink into the back line, ult the squishy people where they can't get any assistance, and
Right.
keep them from running away into that. Because
Right,
that wall doesn't damage you unless you're inside it.
Yeah, most
Yep.
fights he does tend to get Windrunner, which is good, but he tends to get Windrunner and Tidehunter. You know, having an arena where you just pick up like Lena, for example, would definitely be serving him a lot better here.
Hell, even catching Warlock to prevent his Fatal Bombs from going out, or...
Silencer's
You know.
about to get picked here.
Oh, man.
Yep,
Oh,
just
he's
gets
gone.
absolutely annihilated, just evaporated in seconds flat.
Fair
Windrunner
and
takes
balanced.
Windrunner takes a Satanic.
Fair and bloody balanced. I don't think that this is,
Dire's middle
Well, he's got buyback and it's only on 30-second respawn, but I'm not too confident they're gonna be able to stop this if they go for 2-3.
Yeah.
Dire's
It's hard to see at this point.
I mean, one Windrunner death can change the game.
Right.
The sun of their victory is setting, and it looks like it is getting dark.
So nearly 20k gold advantage for MF Doomed here.
Mm-hmm. I gotta admit when I'm wrong. They definitely managed to pull something out of this, and it was very hard fought.
Right.
Yep.
And as much as I hate to say it, I do think this is, in a lot of ways, you know, I think this is as much good plays on MF Doomed as it is misplays on Willow. I think you've got some just, oh, well, they're just instantly eating the racks here, almost without a fight. Get the range racks for free.
No, don't jump Tide! Don't jump Tide! He wants you to jump him!
And the
No,
arena gets one
dude!
man.
They keep
And they
doing
just don't
it!
even, they don't even want to do anything here.
Oh.
He didn't even mean to do it that time, but he actively tried to keep Tide out of the arena and go for a Ring Ranger and Lena, but it wasn't enough. It was too late. And now,
It's like, well, Spearbreaker buys the room necessary for Windrunner to just take the racks. They're choosing now to go in, but it's just a little too late. Tidehunter,
you don't want to do it. He has ult. He has ult. What are you doing? Why are you focusing Tide?
It's not even using it.
Alright, well,
That's
Radiant get away
buys
from
them a bit
this.
of time, and yeah, they just sort of repel them for now. But they don't get anything out of it.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely worth it for Radiant, because you know they just took a Rax for free and really did not get fought for it. I think Willow Twisted Fantasy maybe having a little bit of a crisis of confidence at this point. Seemed just very unwilling to make any offensive plays at this point.
Really makes you wonder what it is they have planned for the latter half of this match.
money to burn.
Remember, we're only about 30 minutes into this. This isn't
Right.
even halfway through.
Well,
And they
necessarily.
have both of their teams have really strong late game potential, so Well, at least between Wind Ranger and Lena, at least. But
Right.
still, it's definitely
They
a toss-up
still
at
are.
this
They
point.
still are on the clock here. If even if they have a disproportionate gold advantage, if Ursa's allowed to farm freely, which he's not here clearly, as you can
Oh,
see.
fantastic Ravage. This
Yep.
is over. I think this is it. The wasted silence, it's not enough. Wind Ranger's just going to catch up and turn him into Chop Suey. Not even going to go for him herself. Oh,
Just gonna leave for their team.
she is going to literally run them down. What a tragedy.
Yep.
Oh man.
Dire's middle tower is under
Yeah, it's
No
hard to see a
buybacks.
realistic path for
It's
Dire.
out. They're going to go straight for tier 4s. I believe this is it, everybody.
You can actually see here, Windrunner actually still not doing a great amount of damage herself, but it doesn't really matter. I think this was a clinic in item choices here, in sort of the opposite direction. You know, as much as I hate to say it, I really do think that this is just a case of Willow Twisted Fantasy, maybe underestimating the wrong people here. Got a
Don't go
cool
for
arena,
Tide.
but it's hard to say he'll accomplish much.
Yep.
That's the
And,
ball game.
before the game ended. At least there's that.
You see, this is
Right.
why Tide was picked as a counter to Magnus in a number of games for like over the course of a long period. Is that, for example, if you catch Tide in an ult that doesn't consistently keep you locked down, like say Black Hole, the second that Kraken Shell pops, he's gonna ult and he's going to completely throw your plan out of whack. It's
Right.
like hooking Tide by accident as Pudge. It's just a complete disaster.
Right. So let's break this down in the most positive way we can. I think there was some good itemization on MF Doomed. Lena getting those travels and those eels early made it really hard to kill her. They just really had no ability to just catch up to her. She was just right-clicking away for free pretty much every fight. The Lotus Orb on Tide actually did quite a lot for him here, even though they don't really have a lot of single-target abilities. He was using it pretty consistently to just knock off Global Silence on the right people, which was good. And Spirit Breaker actually was building some sort of soft core items, even though he was the Pause 5, and I think that actually did do a lot. Like, they got those 2 halberds, so they could just chain it on Ursa, for example, just leave him pretty much just unable to fight.
Yeah, for the
So-
farm he got early in, he did not manage to keep a lot of that towards the end. I mean, the BKB
Right.
was necessary, absolutely. I will not refute that. But I feel like putting off those items is what might have cost him those crucial moments. And again, Mars's usefulness ended the moment they realized Tide can just keep himself within walking distance of any of his carries. Just intentionally bonk himself, crack his shell, the silence or whatever off, and then just completely ruin his ult.
Yeah, that was
Yep.
another great reason that that an Atos or a Gleipnir could have come in a lot of handy for Dire here, is that they could have just kept Tidehunter still, kept them from being able to do that, and that way they could properly just make him a non-factor in these fights. The Tidehunter played pretty well, which is a good turnaround, because in the last series, to be frank, Matty Boy's Tidehunter did not come out very impressive. This time he put on a much better performance, I think.
Speaking of performance, I have to say that Dark Willow's Twisted... I can't say their whole name. I'm just going to call them Twisted Fantasy. Yeah. I'm going to be honest. I think their biggest failing towards preventing Wind Ranger from becoming the threat that she was the lack of early game ganks. They played
Right.
very safe. They were winning their lanes, but at no point did they take the strength they got from those one lanes and bring it to bear upon bottom. There was
Right.
no counter offense towards Wind Ranger properly in that lane phase. She did not die a single time, and
Through
even
the
in the
game.
moments where she was and even in the moments where she was forced to back up, it was not enough.
Right. The thing with Windrunner is that Windrunner is a hero that, to be frank, she needs to die. If Windrunner does not die, she will walk all over you. It really is
Yep.
as simple as that. If she's in a core role, if she doesn't die, she's just going to walk all over you. She can farm super effectively. She can take out one person in a fight if she's not stopped by something or another. And we did have the halberd coming in on Dragonite, but it was a little too late. He didn't actually even finish it by the time the game was up. And even if he did, the Lotus was down well before it, so that could have presented a problem there in the fights. So there are things you could do against Windrunner. like for example, I do think, for example, this didn't come in handy. Blink Dagger really did not do him any sort of favors here, I don't think. I don't think he even really necessarily needed the BKB. I think just building straight tank on the Dragon Knight would have done them a lot better. Just building him like a pause 3 rather than more of like an active pause 2 here. And they did switch gears to
on that note, yeah. On that note, I will say it probably would have been more prudent to have gone something that sort of gives you attack damage, but also gives you a little bit to fight back with when being attacked. Mjolnir would have been great on Dragon Knight, in my opinion. Probably could have also doubled up, maybe saved for a Radiance instead of the Blink.
I just think straight up the solution to a lot of their mid game was just the aura items. I feel like there are very few situations where the aura items aren't going to come in handy, and considering Mars really did not get any farm at all, it was really kind of up to Dragon Knight there to do, and that just did not.
He got that Blink Dagger pretty quickly this game, but the problem is that Tidehunter made himself an issue.
Right. They got a lot of blinks on the Dire, but
the number
really
the
mattered because
number
they just
of
couldn't
times.
fight.
Yeah, no, the number of times that Tide got caught in Arena and then proceeded to turn Arena up on its ass is just about every fight. I mean, look at Mars' score. No offense. It's not good.
Right. Yeah, I mean, 09 and 9 isn't like feeding. It's nothing to be like crying about, but yeah,
but it's something you don't want to be going down with.
Right. Yeah, I think
his hero damage also wasn't terribly impressive, if I'm not mistaken.
Funnily enough, I feel like the one person who built rather defensively, probably shouldn't have gone quite so defensive, might have been Ursa there. Ursa was definitely building to try and make himself a threat early game, and
no, he definitely needed that BKB because
right.
He had to have something to deal with Wind Ranger. They needed to. The BKB was necessary, but I feel like he needed something a little stronger than just Diff Blade. I feel like Diff Blade was a good choice to keep Tide suppressed if he was focusing him, but that's the problem. If you're focusing Tide, you're doing exactly what he wants.
Right, yeah. Tide took up a lot of sort of, Tide took a lot of attention from the Dire. Tide was just constantly on their minds. I think once they realized that he was, just constantly cracking and shelling himself in the arena,
I feel like if they wanted something to help deal with the majority of their team a little better than Diffusal Blade could have, I would have personally recommended something along the lines of, say, Desolator on Ursa.
I mean, I would have just had the boys just try to buy me time and just farm, more than anything.
I understand that, no. But I do mean it where that Desolator gives Ursa, he already hits, your gimmick is that you hit people a lot of times and you build up a lot of damage with those hits, but it's more efficient to just have to get less hits in particular. Because what gets around block and what gets around general tanky heroes? Armor reduction. It would have let him rip apart Spirit Breaker, would have let him rip apart... Even Tide would have died quickly with that, and Lina was definitely a factor. With BKB, Blink, Phase Boots, and a Deso, you would have been able to instantly shred anyone. Heck, Warlock could draw golems till the cows come home, and they would die in 3 swings.
Right. I mean, it's not like the Warlocks in this game or the Warlock Golems, rather, in this game were particularly being put down for the Golem itself, rather than just having another stun to go with the Tidehunter ult.
Yep. Follow up on title.
But yeah, that's really the ball game here. I mean, that's the most I can say. I think MF Doomed did realize what they needed to do, did what they needed to do. I think Willow Twisted Fantasy made a few misplays here that really did not go well with them.
Their early game was very well played, but they just let Wind Ranger become the greatest threat of all, and off of her effort, her team springboarded to victory.
Right. The thing is, they let Lina walk all over them for a while, and then they let Runner walk over them. So
Well, that's just the thing.
Or run all over them.
I think it's really deceptive how their actual team comp played out here. You see, they started off with the real threat in their perspective being, for whatever reason, seemed to be just Tide and Spirit Breaker. They just kind of really went after them, how do I put this? They went after her, but then they realized, okay, well, let's just keep pushing Tide down because he's going to be the big answer to Arena. Because that first Arena that messed up from it was a huge indicator that they needed to do something different.
Right.
Tide became a bit of a threat at that point, and then Lina hit her turning point where she got her items and became a threat. And then Wind Ranger did, and from that point on, it was over.
Right. Yeah,
it was just a series of different people hitting really high-end, they really peaked in terms of their ability to team fight in that sense at really opportune times.
And it seemed like Willow Twisted Fantasy was always trying to play catch up on who the important target was at any given moment as well.
Yep. And some heroes sort of stay a threat in that sense. Well, Lena kind of fell, I wouldn't say off, but she definitely fell behind, significantly behind Windranger. But
Right.
Tide? What the hell were they going to do about Tide? Tide is just tanky at all stages of the game, just about. And Spirit Breaker also did not die very often, so he was allowed to build up the crucial farm he needed to sort of help in suppressing both DK, Ursa, and to also a degree, Silencer.
Right. Well, I don't think there's really much more to say on this. Besides,
Oh no, absolutely, it's
please buy
pretty well put.
auras. I love aura items. If you look at my game history, you'll see me buying aura items a lot, and I can tell you why, because they're really good. Anyway, I think that's all we can say here. Randy, you got any closing comments? You've been kind of quiet in the analysis.
Ban redheads against MF Doomed.
All right. Well, if you or somebody you want to know wants to learn Dota at a more casual or a more competitive level, go to ld2l.gg. And you're not going to be able to sign up for the tournament at this point, I'm afraid, but you'll be able to sign up for next season. You'll be able to sign up as a stand-in. You'll be able to watch the games. You'll be able to join the Discord server and see PVC Pipe and Randy talking about hockey. It'll be great. I'm Anani. This is Randy. Say goodbye, Randy.
Goodbye.
This is Ocelot. Say goodbye, Ocelot.
If I must. Goodbye.
And we'll see you next time for another game or something else. Nice.